speaking of greatness, we'll get to you guys' comments in just a second. Welcome aboard the Karrion Kross bandwagon. I don't know how many of you guys in the chat are actually a part of it, but it's seeming like people are finally here. It's the same thing. We can say this about Karrion Kross, and we can say this about Bronson Reed. It took y'all a long time,
way too long,
to get on the wagon, but we welcome you because I guess the good thing about this is we saw it before they kind of have popped off, because people are talking about how Bronson Reed was incredible at War Games to the point of him potentially really hurting both of his ankles with that tsunami. Holy shit. And then we're seeing this Wyatt 6 Final Testament, Karrion Kross having his fingers in like every little storyline, including what we were just talking about with the New Day. Welcome. That's all I have to say, really.
Yeah, there's a tweet today from Slapper Wrestling that I need to bring up to kind of tie this all in. The long-term storytelling of Karrion Kross has been absolutely top tier. The hourglass that predicted the end of the bloodline. Taking Drew's temperament leads to the heel turn. Taking Rey Mysterio's patience leads to Rey vs. Dom. Taking Nakamura's honor, heel turn. Took Justice, he targets Styles, who returned shortly after with a new persona and new entrance theme, all that. A prophet is nothing without his disciples. Words Karrion Kross spoke 6 months before the Final Testament debut. Scarlett claims everything Karrion Kross touches dies as the New Day feud ended. Miz turned on Truth and now obviously is aligning himself in a weird way with the Final Testament. His reasoning, the people we see as legends looked at him as a threat coming up from NXT. He sees them as liars, and his mission is to show the world what he sees.
Mm-hmm.
And then he actually responded to the tweet with a GIF. So got some attention there.
Did they mention McIntyre? Yeah, he did mention McIntyre. Yeah, so
like everything, like that's a crazy thing. Like everything that has happened in WWE with heel turns and whatnot, like the last moment or few whatever before that was with Karrion Kross. If you are going to sit here and tell me that is not a testament to how they view him backstage for a potential huge run, I can't hold any more signs with big enough letters. I can't.
It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, where the bloodline has dictated a lot of what has been going on over the past couple of years, whether it be storylines, feuds, characters, whatever. People don't realize the same thing could be said about Karrion Kross because he's not as big of a name, obviously, as the people that are in the bloodline, and he's not on television every single week, blah, blah, blah. But we have been saying this whole Final Testament thing, even though it's far from perfect. I think, the AOP thing, I think that the character of what they're doing with Karrion Kross, that was perfect. I don't know that he necessarily needed to have AOP and whatever with him. I think that if they just went in this direction, he would have been just as good. But it's definitely underrated. People do not, they don't get how much influence he has had over a lot of things and a lot of people's characters over the past couple years since he returned. So I'm glad that somebody wrote it out, and we're finally seeing people almost on a weekly basis shouting out Karrion for his mic work and for the story and whatever he's doing, because he's also somebody that's living the gimmick. His social media is constantly Karrion Kross. It's not whatever his real name is. I don't know, which is cool. I think that
I don't need to know it right now.
He does a really great job at it. So, yes. Okay, so let's get to some of the comments. Let's see.
Vinny, I don't know where Paul Ellering is, but we need to find him before Karrion Kross actually loses his marbles because he treats him like Alfred in Batman. Like, seriously.